Dolphins fans and also all sports fans. Welcome to Sports Night with George. Let me start off with a little baseball updates. Today's game, there's some early games today, and some game was actually rained, and then they had to start late. The first game was the Orioles against the Royals. That should have started at 1:05, but it started like 30 minutes ago. They're in the bottom of the second inning with the Royals leading the Orioles 1-0. We had the Angels beating the Marlins 10-2, and the Marlins are struggling. That'll be 0-7 for the year. We have the Rangers beating the Rays 4-1. The Twins topped the Brewers 7-3. These are all finals. Red Sox beat the Athletics 1-0. The Yankees lead the Diamondbacks 6-4 in the bottom of the 11th inning. Another game delay is the Red Sox and the Phillies. We got the Padres beating the Cardinals 3-1 in the top of the eighth. We had the Guardians beat the Mariners 8-0 today. Pirates will play the Nationals tonight, the Pittsburgh Pirates, at 6:45 p.m. Then we have Rockies at Cub at 7:40. We have Blue Jays and Astro at 8:10 p.m. And then to top it off at night will be the last game, the Giants and the Dodgers at 10 p.m. As you guys know, those of you who don't know, but there was actually a trade that happened with the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. They traded their top wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. Well, let me tell you guys, the moment you hear that, here's where the fan goes crazy. The fanatics, not the fans. Okay? It is a plus win for the Houston Texans. Why? Once again, you go to the NFL and you go to your NFL team and you want to build from that puzzle you're missing and build that puzzle and put that piece in that can help the team. Now, unfortunately, hearing today, the broadcasters, the podcasters, the newscast, and you know, I don't feel bad for Buffalo Mafia. Uh, Stephon Diggs and Allen. I guess the team always had issue. So sometimes you gotta let players. Now, I'm not saying that Stephon Diggs is not a good player. Yes, he's an excellent player, but sometimes the pride and the ego go too far. Now, I know you say, why are you saying that? Because I know there's players that like to compete and they're very competitive, but you have to understand it's a team individual. I mean, a team effort, not a person individual. It's a team. It's a team effort from the entire team. Uh, Once again, to build that chemistry, to take you to the promised land, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but now you hear the podcasters and the newscasters, especially the sports. You know, Buffalo has lost a lot of players in free agency. So did Miami. We got Dolphin fans out there saying now, well, now we can win the division. Now we should be on top of the division. Guys, football hasn't started. The draft hasn't started. Okay, we still in the free agency. Okay, afterwards, after preseason again, a lot of players will be released, and that's how people are going to build around their team. Don't get too hype. And like I said, I tell Bills Mafia and the Buffalo Bill fans that it's going to be okay. Sometimes you need a change. Okay. Now that they lost a lot of players, well, that player lost against the Kansas City Chief, the one that beat Pittsburgh first in the first round of the playoffs. You know, it's a competitive league. Okay, it's very hard to win in the NFL. So right now, I mean, I see this and people jumping on bandwagons and saying that, man, now we're not going to be good. Now, does it change the division a little bit? Yes, it changed. Okay. I still believe, like I said it a while back, Miami will win that division. Miami's a better team, but all this is just on paper. We got to wait see what happens. Now, the Buffalo Bills still got good players. Okay. But Sometimes change are good, you know. And I remember Stephon Diggs, and you hear back and forth after games, you know. And this is what happened to the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill, and people disagree with me. You know, everybody knows who you're going to throw the ball to. That's obvious. Okay, so what do? We double team the guy, then you leave the guy open. You know, Tyreek Hill. I mean, not taking nothing bad from him, but he's a great player. But he dropped key passes against the Chief in London. He fumbled in London. You know, then the touchdown in the playoffs when we played the Chiefs. Okay, I use an example. Okay, he caught a touchdown pass. Guys, that was tipped. It was tipped. He got it and it went to the end zone. Let's be realistic, okay? Not taking nothing away from the guy. But Stephon Diggs was a problem for the Buffalo Bills, and they needed to make that change. Now he goes to the Houston Texans, okay, with a young quarterback, Stroud. So that's one piece probably they're missing. One piece of the puzzle missing for that ball club. And yes, that's probably going to help the ball club down the road. It makes them a better team. But we as fans, we have to sometimes step back and visualize our teams. You know, the positions that has to be filled in our teams. You got offensive line, defensive line, you got special teams. You have to look at all that in play, guys and girls. Sometimes we look at this and we might made a right decision, we might made a bad decision, but I can see that the marriage between Allen and Diggs, it wasn't there, guys. And you might say, well, they had a good relationship and all that. Yeah, but here we go again. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Okay. High paid receivers in this league, okay, have to understand one thing. And I don't say this, like I said, it might sound that I'm criticizing, but no, I'm not criticizing. I'm real when it comes to this, okay? And, you guys could quote me if I'm wrong. Just because you're the highest paid NFL receiver and you are the best, that doesn't mean you're going to get the ball 90% of the time in the game. Guys, there's 11 players in that field. You got 4 receivers at 2 on each end. You got a tight end. You got a running back. You got a fullback, which a fullback has basically not existed anymore in the NFL. I mean, so you got to be honest with yourself. Is it a bad move for the Buffalo Bill? I don't think so. I think the coach of the Buffalo Bills, I think he's in a hot seat right now. You know, and he's a good coach. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And you move on from this. So that's one of the things that came out today, that the trade, everybody was shocked that happened. You know, Dolphin got, I think, 3 players from the Buffalo Bills in their team. Older guys, and sometimes you need changes, and that's okay. That's okay. So, we got to stay positive as an individual when it comes to our team. You know, we haven't hit mini camps either. We haven't hit preseason either. Okay, like I said once again, we haven't hit the draft either, and there's still free agency out there. So anything could happen. Any trade could happen. Any picks that you need. And let's be honest, this. Every time they play preseason football, okay, some players make it, they don't make it. Why? Because they don't fit their schemes. But the other team outside looking in say, man, I'd rather have this guy on my team. Whether it's a quarterback, running back, linebacker, safety, whatever position is available to fulfill that team. I use an example with the Dolphins. When they said that the Dolphins were looking for a defensive tackle because Wilkins is left, I think they're solid there. They might need a backup for Sealer, okay, but they got the guy from Tampa Bay. They pick good players. 2 guys from Seattle. Linebackers. I mean for Chubbs and Phillip. I think Miami knows what they're doing. Okay, so they're not setting themselves for failure. Okay, this is something that I said about the 49ers last year going into this year's Super Bowl. You got a team to win it, okay? And unfortunately, you'll win those close What I mean when your window's closed, that means this is it. You're gonna lose players through free agency. You're gonna you won't be able to sign his contract. Your payroll is gonna be so high. It's just that's part of football, guys and girls. That's part of football. You know, so you gotta be realistic. Okay. We also believe that one player could change the team. I don't have no doubts on that. But once again, 53-man roster, 11 defense, 11 offense. That's what plays on the field every single game. So we have to be wise when we look at these kind of things. We can't go crazy. We got, like I said, Dolphin broadcaster or podcaster, you know, sports channel. That opens the window for the Dolphins. They could win the division. Now, I believe they win the division. That might knock down Buffalo from second to third, and the Jets creep on the Buffalo Bills. That could be a possibility. Okay, but who knows? That's why I don't predict this season too early. You know, because I look through injuries, trades, you know, rumors. Rumors are going to be there every single time, girls and and guys. Girls and guys. That's going to happen every time. Rumors are there. This is what keeps the fan engaged and happy and you know uh, I can name a lot of players that ended in Miami that was a bust. I think the best one that got in Miami was Cameron Wake. From the I think it was Canadian League or the one of his league that he came a heck of a player. You know, Donovan Sue, great player, paid him that contract. Didn't win successful in Miami. He probably did good with the Rams. He probably did good in other teams, but when he came to Miami, I didn't see no difference. But that's my opinion. Maybe you got a different opinion to it. But we have to be realistic when sport things like this happen, rumors and trades, we have to think carefully of what we're saying out there, especially to our fan. Okay, you know, uh, it's funny how they numbered us. Well, he's a 6.5 average, he's a 7.5. How do you know that? We're not classified as numbers. The problem is that you might have the wrong linebacker playing in the wrong position, or you might have the wrong linebacker playing for the wrong team, and maybe a coaching can help that person change completely and become a better player at his position. You see, coaching comes a long way. I look at Tua with McDaniels, with Tua with Flores. Flores was a defensive coach, not an offensive coach. Never liked Tua, let's be honest with you, because him and Mike Greer went at it when they got Tua in the draft. We know that already. It's a long story. Okay, they wanted Herbert. Okay, but look at Herbert now. Feel bad. He lost everybody in that team. So, but once again, it's a rebuilding mode with Harbaugh coming in. That's a rebuilding team. That's all it is. Maybe that's what Buffalo's doing, rebuilding the team again. Okay, because the quarterback has so much opportunity and so much chances in their career to go to the Super Bowl. And let's not talk about that because we know what happened to Dan Marino. And it's not easy, guys. It's not easy to play in this league. I tell you guys that all the time. This is a hard league to play every single week. You have to be prepared. You got to know the game plan when you walk into the field. I could tell you something in sports. That home field advantage, I could say you could throw that out of the window. That doesn't exist anymore. Okay? You got to put the best product on the field every given Sunday when it comes to the NFL. Okay? Baseball is different because baseball is 162 games. Players come and go from AAA, from AA, from single A. See, the NFL don't got that. Straight from college to the NFL. I bought that subject a while back too about that. College kids make it to the NFL, and then they don't make it to the NFL. They don't give them a chance in the NFL, and then they trade them, they cut them, they release them. That's what I say. I believe the 4 game of preseason. Now, if you guys disagree with me, You can hit the bottom comments in the bottom and comment. Why? Because 4 games of preseason show me what rookies we have, what backup we have. They're playing pretty well, you know. But come on, the starters don't play until the last game of the preseason. And if you haven't noticed, if you guys haven't noticed this lately, every time the starter plays the start of a season and they play the last game of the preseason, most of those players get injured right away in the first game. If you want to look at that stat and look at it, Google it, find it in the computer, and you'll be surprised how many players walk in the league and and they played and oh, he's a starter. We don't want to hurt him. The season starts on week 1 and he's not going to play. Hamstring, groin injury, ankle injury, twisted knee. I mean, let's be honest. Elbow problems, you know. So it's just that we have to understand one thing, guys. They're human like us, okay? They're fragile, okay? They're not robots out there. They're fragile. And remember, football is a physical game. We have to understand that. But yeah, like I was saying earlier about the baseball scores, I'll give it one more time. Uh, at the end of 2, we have the Royals beating the Orioles, actually 2-0. We have the Angels, I tell you earlier, beating the Marlins 10-2. The Marlins are 0-7. Guys, I don't know what's going on with the Marlins. I know it's still early, but 0-7 start is not good for a baseball team. Rangers are beating the Rays 4-1 today. Twins beating the Brewers 7-3. Red Sox beating the Athletics 1-0. The Yankees won again. I think they're 6-1 now. They beat the D-backs 6-5 in I think 11th inning. Reds and Phillies still delayed by weather. Padres lead the Cardinals 3-2 in the top of the ninth. Guardians and Mariners. Guardians won that one 8-0 today final. Pittsburgh Pirates and the Nationals starting up right now. They're in the bottom of the first inning. We got the Rockies and the Cubs tonight at 7:40. We have the Blue Jays at the Astros at 8:10, and we got the Giants at the Dodgers at 10:10 p.m. Let me switch a little bit of subject to the NHL because this is something that's concerning me a lot. I know that hockey is season is almost around the corner, but one team that's concerning me is my Florida Panthers. Okay, I think they're a winner of 2 of the last probably 8, 10 games. And I know they clinch. I understand that. I know they're resting players. I understand that too. Okay. But in this league, in the NHL, same thing as the NFL and NBA, you have to compete. Okay. If you want to win your division, you got to show up every game. Now that you're going to win every game, no, you're not. But the Panthers, I mean, I see they're resting a couple of players in and out, and they're scoring goals. But man, they're getting killed. Their goalies are getting killed. I mean, the scores it's just amazing. Okay, and now I'm not being negative. I'm trying to tell you that sometimes and they bought good players. They make good trades and all that. But the chemistry changes, guys, because player changes. Is their ego? Is their pride? You know, and it's sad, but that's part of sports. Okay. But let me give you some hockey games tonight. It has good playoff implication. We got Lightnings at the Maple Leafs at 7 p.m. We got the Devils at the Rangers at 7 p.m. We have the Oilers and the Stars tonight at 9:30 p.m. We have Seattle Kraken against the LA Kings at 9:30 p.m. We have the Canucks and Coyotes at 10 p.m. tonight. That's the only game actually for hockey. So same thing at the NBA. Look what happened to the Heat. What has happened to the Heat? But guys, that's part of sports once again. You know, uh, it's not easy winning, in this league or any other league. It's not easy at all. I tell everybody sometimes, you you focus on what you have, you know, especially on the field or on the court. Uh, you look at yourself and you ask yourself, you know, do we have the right team? to compete? Do we have great competitors in the team? And sometimes you gotta lift that player up. You have the player in your team, lift them up. Help the person out. So here's some standings I have. I have in the Eastern Conference. I mean, the Celtics are 59-16. They're having a great season. Okay. Right now the Heat are 42-33. They're in the seventh seed in case something happens. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you who's in the playoff and getting close to the playoff. On the Western Conference, you got the Nuggets at 53-23. They're having a good season. The Timberwolves also 52-23. The Thunders are 52-23. I mean, you got great teams. Then you got the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, and the Kings, the Suns. The Lakers are in the ninth position with a 43-33. They pick up some good players and they're winning some good games lately. So, playoff implication in the NBA, man, it's amazing. Like I say, it's another competitive league. Stay healthy, keep healthy. You know, rest your players. But here's what happened when it gets down the stretch. This is when you need the players the most. So no, the most to show up too also in the game. So that's your NBA right there, and if I'll give you some games that are gonna be played tonight, I'll tell you right now. Give me a second, because I know they got a couple of good games tonight. And we have actually today we do have the Lakers against the Wizard, Trailblazer against the Hornets. All these are 7 o'clock games, by the way. Pacers against the Nets at 7:30. Pistons in the Hawk at 7:30. We have Thunders and Celtics. That's a good one at 7:30. Grizzly and the Bucks. That's a good one at 8 o'clock. We have Magic and Pelicans. That's a good game also today at 8 o'clock. And then Raptor Timberwolves at 8 o'clock. And then closing out the schedule for tonight will be the Cavaliers and the Sun at 10:10 p.m. So now you got your NBA games, you got your baseball scores, and you got your NFL update. Unfortunately, guys, we gotta stay positive. Positive. We have to encourage ourselves. One not ourselves, also one another. Okay. Sports is, like I tell everybody, it's just an entertainment. It's fun. I like it because it keeps you, up to date, especially around this world. Everything's going around this world. You. I know you love your team. Once again, I want to tell everybody. Uh, I am in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Now, in the bottom here, we have comments, the like button or the thumbs up button, okay, and the subscribe. Please, guys, please, please, please. Man, don't miss this every week at 7 p.m. You will enjoy this every single day on your way driving home. Okay, if in the morning you gotta hear it, you can open up in the morning, and I could get the latest scores that I could get. Okay, if any update comes in, like I tell you, I'll let you guys know. Stay encouraged, stay positive. You know, help one another, love one another. And enjoy your Wednesday. See you tomorrow. And once again, signing off. Sports Night with Jorge. God bless.